What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I want to take this moment to declare that I am no longer identifying as a human being. I just can't do it anymore. I've now been able to observe humanity long enough in these last 3.5 years to realize that they're filled with idiots, filled with ignorant people who don't know how to see stuff that's right in front of their face and something that can benefit them versus something that's in their face and wants to hurt them. For example, these whole litany of riots, so-called peaceful protests. People are so ignorant and so dumb, they don't realize that as bad as George Floyd's death was, it was something that finally united all people in America. White, black, young, old, cops, non-cops, Democrats, Republicans, the liberal media, the conservative media. Everybody was united concerning what they witnessed. I don't recall not one person getting on there saying on TV talking about something. I don't see what the problem is. The police handle things perfectly. Even the cops were saying that was horrible what happened. But yet, something that brought us all together just wasn't good enough. There are entities out there that say, you know what, we can't have this. We can't have the country unified over something that all of us were able to say, you know what, this is beyond racism. This is beyond police brutality. This is beyond your left and right. This is about good and evil. This is about right and wrong. And what we saw in that video was wrong. Nobody was running around talking about it was okay. So now you get everybody agreeing for once. And then you get people who says, well, that's exactly what we didn't want. Let's make this tragedy divide us all. Let's go ahead and use our resources and our media and our manipulative tactics to make people divide. Even though nobody knows why they're fighting. See, some black folks thinking they fight years and years of oppression and this and that. Let me just tell you it like this. Honestly, the death of George Floyd shows that America isn't as racist as they're saying it is. As people feel and believe because of manipulation that America is. It's not. And you know why? Because if this was 1930, and George Floyd would have got killed by the police, half of the country probably would have been saying, let these police officers walk. They did their job. Those would have been all of the blatant racist people in America saying, I'll be darned if you punish white cops for killing a black man. Here we are, fast forward to 2020. Nobody's saying that. White people, black people, cops, non-cops, politicians, everybody saying that was wrong. So we finally are at a point where you don't hear anybody saying what happened is right. But yet that's not good enough, because some people wanted vulnerable, impressionable people to see this through the lens of race and division. And then they get on TV and say, look at our country, it's so divided, it's so terrible. After certain commentators every day for the last 3.5 years plus have been telling everybody we've made no progress when it comes down to race relations. They get on TV demonizing the cops, even when they don't deserve it. They'll demonize the cops and all of these things. You create narratives in weak people's minds, and thus, instead of them seeing this as an opportunity for all Americans to say, we agree and we're united on this, and yes, those men need to face punishment, you convince, or when I say you, I'm talking about they know who they are, certain people, certain entities, convince Americans to separate because we all agree. Now, that's an oxymoron. We all agree on it, but yet all of a sudden, you got folks tearing up neighborhoods. And what my last draw is the black man, the black police officer that was shot and killed and lied in the middle of the street dying. And yet they're running around talking about this is a peaceful protest and Black Lives Matter. I guess that black person's life didn't matter, because you don't hear nothing about that in regards to these peaceful protesters, the Don Lemon and all of the rest of them, and even some politicians and entertainers are running around saying it's happening. I guess that black man's life didn't matter. So they can go somewhere and sit on an egg. I'm telling you, as I see how these young people are being manipulated by greater powers than they know of, it bothers me, and it makes me say, I can no longer identify as a human, because human beings are dumb. I feel that for some reason, common sense people are the next level of the evolutionary chain, where we're going, they can't see that? I mean, they're behaving like a lower life form. And I'm gonna tell you, I have to give it to George Soros and many others who want to see this complete divide in our country. They're not going after race. They can care less whether you black, white, or whatever. What they're going after is the right versus the left, conservatives versus liberals. They want a liberal global agenda, and conservatives in America are standing in their way. We're the ones that hold guns. We're the ones that believe in Christianity, most of us. We're the ones that just say, leave us alone. We believe in capitalism. We believe in American sovereignty. And we also love our country. And those are principles that would prevent globalism. And when you have people who have faith, who believe in the First and Second Amendment, speaking your mind, being vocal, and sharing ideas does not help the left's agenda. They hate that stuff. So they want freedom of thought shut down. They definitely want people on the right to put your guns away or confiscate those. And they want us to hate America so that we will be more willing to embrace a globalistic approach when it comes down to our sovereignty. And they have used young people to help usher this in several ways. And I'm going to break it down, and I'm out of y'all hair. They know that the strength and weakness of conservatives is we do not, one, buy into political correctness, but we also believe in obeying the law. We understand that, yeah, we might have guns, but we use those guns, number one, for self-protection. Number two, just in case of government tyranny, we would form a militia to defend our way of life against the government. But when you employ young, stupid, black, white, and others, kids to start riots and create chaos in the streets, conservatives, most of them say, you know what? Because we are law-abiding citizens and this isn't government tyranny, we're going to trust that our government and our police will stop this and handle this unless these folks come up to my house and I will defend myself. So therefore, if we formed a militia to go out and do the job, what the police are supposed to be doing is shut all this down, then the left will be like, see, they're all white nationalists. Look at them. And they say that they want to just have the right to bear arms to protect themselves against it. Now they're attacking these black kids and these black people that simply out protesting. That's all they're doing. These are all white nationalists. They're all white. So that's one way to keep smart conservatives from getting involved with this, because they know we got two choices. Either respect the law and say, let's let the process work, or say, all right, now, since it looks like they ain't getting this done, let's go ahead, get our guns, and go out and do the job that the police supposed to be doing. Then on the other side, the left knows that if they could ride in on the platform of racism, it creates a passive approach to deal with these looters, these violent protesters, these Antifa kids, all of that stuff. And with the media saying all they really are peaceful protesters, they're hoping that the police and some of these governors will overcommit to stop the looting and the violence, and once again create the narrative that the police and conservative leaders hate black people and they're trying to stop peaceful protesting. They're creating a narrative which makes a lot of leaders passive in approaching these people and shutting it all the way down. So they kind of got a double trap going there. You got weak leaders who are saying, oh man, this is a tough situation because of what just happened. And the left is saying, this is a great situation because now we can create passivity on the police side of things and the government side of things, not to mess with these people we're paying to go out and tear up stuff. And then you got conservatives that saying, we're trusting the law to handle this unless they all come up to my house, which leaves a void for these idiots to continue wreaking havoc. And then when you get President Trump that comes in and says, we sending in the National Guard, now all of a sudden, what it is, he's doing this because he's a dictator, and now we're a military country and blah, 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 blah. So they're trying to paint both sides that they hate, which is the president and conservative politicians, and yet conservative voters and citizens. They're trying to say, let's create that vacuum in the middle and take advantage of them trusting in our system to do the job by stopping them. And yet also, because of political correctness, trusting that the police and the leaders who are over the police are too passive to let the police deal with these folks the way they need to be dealt with. Because let's be real, they're only doing this because they know they got support from Hollywood and from some Democrat and Republican leaders and from the media. They got support from them, so that if the military or the police went real hard in on them, then they're gonna get demonized. And they know that, man, I could get away with this stuff and nobody's gonna put a cap in me for the most part. The cops ain't gonna come in shooting first. All of these things that they normally would have to fear by doing something like this, they know that we got support. We got people that are encouraging this negative behavior directly and indirectly. So let's just go ahead and take advantage of this. And it's messed up, man. That is why I'm suggesting that if liberals want their way of life to be like what the left wants, just start another country. Just split it right down the middle. Y'all can go ahead, have Hillary come in, run y'all little country. Y'all can have all of that crap y'all feel is important. Go ahead, take it. Just all of y'all probably could fit in California. So those that are in California that want to get out of there, just come on inland and let them go ahead and build whatever utopian society they think they're building. And they can have all the illegal immigration they want. They can have all the transgender bathrooms they want. I mean, do whatever you want. And let the people with some common sense, decency, and order just operate over here. Yeah. And in regards to the black folks who, for whatever reason, don't feel that there's any justice concerning the police and what happened over this, you know what? You have nobody to go after right now. Meaning, there's no boogeyman. No one out there is saying this was okay. So now, are you just throwing a fit and tearing up stuff because of past history of racial behavior? And I mean, I don't understand. Nobody is fighting against your cause right now. You're destroying your own cause by tearing up stuff for no reason. If you hate cops that much as a black community, if y'all think that, you know, the cops are that bad, then how about this? Police your own selves. See, you'll be mad if the cops say, you know what? When the black community calls us, we're going to be like, sorry, ma'am or sir, we don't service your area anymore because of all the racial injustice that you claim is going around. And we don't want to come there and be accused of policing your area because you're black. I mean, who knows? We could end up on the 9 o'clock news, you know? So I'm trusting that you can police your own communities. And then all the same black people that's whining about injustice and the police suck and this and that will be screaming and saying this is more racism because the police won't even come to the black neighborhood. See, if something goes down in the black neighborhood, they will be calling the cops, come do something about this. But yet when the cops are in the black neighborhood because of all this stuff to go down, then it's, man, why y'all got to be up in here, man, always on our back, man. Y'all always just profiling, y'all targeting us and all of that stuff. So if you want it like that, you don't want cops involved, then go ahead. Go ahead. I would just tell the police station, you know what, guys, I'm not even going to put y'all in danger. I ain't going to put y'all in danger, meaning this. I'm not going to put you in a position to where you doing your job and all of a sudden you now on TV being called a racist because you did your job. And I'm not talking about the police who did that to George Floyd. Those police weren't doing their job. They were doing something else and they're going to pay a price for it. I'm talking about the average police officer that just want to do good, want to go home to his family in the evening, want to make a difference, want to make people feel safe, but yet they're getting demonized because of stupid people like the cops that did that to George Floyd. So black people, if you're that mad, if you hate cops that much, then come up with a better solution than the police. See, they were yelling, talking about some, you know what, we calling for all black police officers to quit. Man, are you for real? If they got rid of all the black police officers, then they would be whining and saying, why ain't we got no black cops, man? Why all the cops got to be white? There was a time in our history where it was like that. And y'all wanted black police officers. Then you got them. And now all of a sudden, you still ain't happy. Okay, so how about you just go ahead and police your own neighborhoods? I grew up in the hood. And I know when my own people started acting a fool and shooting and rioting and fighting and robbing and stealing, guess who we called? The police. We didn't say, man, forget that, we'll handle this. We called the police. So, yep, that's it, people. I'm denouncing my humanity right now. I'm now an alien. All right, maybe I'll come up with a fancy name for my new alien nationality. Maybe it's the race of reasoning. Yeah, I belong to the race of reasoning, all right? The RR, yeah, corporation, federation, the race of reasoning. Anyway, if you're part of the race of reasoning, join me. We're denouncing our humanity. We're now identifying as a race of reasoning people. That's what we're doing. So God bless y'all. Don't forget, check me out every Wednesday night, 7:30 live in Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, and my radio blog talk show, which is tonight. I'll be going live talking about this nonsense. And also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links are below. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's a link below the video to do that. Check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. If you like their products, click on something, put Kevin in the promo code, you'll get a 20% discount. Make sure you're still subscribed, your notifications are set to all, and like and share this video. God bless. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner.